How you do, kind folks? It's Slam and Skits back together again. Hey,
Back again. They're gonna talk about something else. That's a parody of a rap song. Let us know if
it's
you know the parody.
let us know your favorite parody in the kind folks down comment section down below.
Comment section below. Yeah, what are we talking about today, there, Chief?
Veggietales. Yes.
Yep.
We decided to. What else could we talk about that's fairly decent and interesting for the kind folks that we both kind of have interest in, and we decided
Yes.
those veggies. They're 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 pretty big. Yes, they're pretty.
Very important. Don't you agree?
Oh yes, quite.
Oh, no doubt. Definitely have some memories here.
Indeed. Let's begin, shall we?
I was gonna say, why don't you start it off for us with what many would call the golden days or the golden age.
Well, I'll begin with the first little intro here.
The pre-golden age.
Indeed. What is Veggietales? So it's Veggietales is used to be a direct-to-video Christian children's video program thing. It's kind of weird because could be a variety of many different things. It was on TV for a bit. It was on streaming for a bit. It was direct to video for a bit. It's been everywhere.
Yes.
It's kind of the Mickey Mouse. Veggietales is kind of the Mickey Mouse of Christian children's animation, basically.
Ah, I see.
Because it's been everywhere. It was created by Phil Vischer and Mike Naroki, who actually voiced Bob and Larry. Bob the Tomato, Larry the Cucumber, all that type of jazz.
Definitely some pitch voice shifting or voice pitch. Couldn't get that out.
Oh yes, quite. And
Bob.
Yeah. So for the most part, Veggietales was started by Phil Vischer because he wanted to basically make his own ministry. Basically, he was like a non-denominational ministry. He wanted to preach the gospel of God and all that.
That's a good way.
So
yeah.
So he went about wanting to preach to the kids using this newfangled doohickey called
CGI
video.
Oh, that's
CGI, yes.
CGI.
So, in short, it's a very long story that you can find on his book, which I will bring up in 2 shakes of a lamb's tail, kind folks. Phil Vischer biography. Yeah, that's where he told a lot of his Me, Myself, and Bob, I think it's his name. The name of it. Yeah, Me, Myself, and Bob. Phil Vischer. And yeah.
Full of vegetables. That would have been hilarious. But, oh well.
No, he is actually the same age as my dad, which is surprising.
Huh, interesting.
Yeah, but anyway, so Phil Vischer created Veggietales with the help of his college best friend Mike Naroki, who voiced Larry.
Yeah.
And with the help of his wife, Lisa Vischer.
Mm-hmm.
In short, we're not going to talk about the behind the scenes of Veggietales. We're going to talk about Veggietales itself. So we're just going to fast forward through all that. Bob and Larry was actually the first ever completely CGI 30-minute video thing ever created. Actually, it was created 2 years before Toy Story.
Wow. I actually did not know that.
You can tell by the early animation.
Very, very
and the
early.
Oh, yes. And the reason why, I guess that's like the start of it. They created it as like a direct-to-video thing because Christian like media was very big in direct-to-video stuff in the day and all that.
Yeah.
So they decided to make direct-to-video.
Which would make
it direct-to-video. Sell it on the Christian bookstores and all that type of thing, and it just steadily rose in popularity and all that. Why? Because of the quality of the animation, kind of folks.
I never
never
mind. I'm rambling, folks. Continue.
So basically,
yeah.
Let me readjust there. Instead of, them focusing on like body parts and all that type of stuff, which is where most Christian media tends to fail at. The reason why they're vegetables is because they focus more on the eyes and the face rather than focus on rendering and moving every single finger that they're going to have, every single hand gesture they're going to have, that type of thing.
That makes sense too, and I would say it totally worked.
Yeah, it did.
Didn't think
and they also focused on the writing rather than, not just saying, hey, God's great.
Yeah.
Suck it, whatever, Instead of just doing that, they instead did more like explain to you why God's great and all that type of stuff, right? I mean, there are many
little. Go ahead.
Because here's the thing, right? Many, not just Christian people, but secular people, like atheists, even were like, you know what, Bob and Larry, Veggietales, it's not that bad.
Yeah.
It's because of the animation.
Yeah.
They use their limits to their benefit, right?
They did.
And the writing, because the writing is actually not that bad as opposed to many Christian media.
Yeah, I mean, especially in the early days.
Yeah, they focused on the adult writing, like adult jokes. There's adult jokes in early days of Bob and Larry, which is surprising. It's not kidified.
Oh yeah? Huh. We talking like whatever the first tape is that has the white cover. I can't remember the name of it. Fill me in on that, if you don't mind.
So,
pre that one.
No.
No? Oh.
I don't know what you're talking about, but there's a lot of white covers. The very first Veggietales video?
Yes.
No. We're not talking pre that. We're talking post that. That and post that.
Well,
I'll explain as we dive into the golden age. The golden age of Veggietales, kind of.
Let's talk about
what
part I remember.
So I'm not going to dive into. I'm not really going to dive in. I could talk a whole long time about the business side of it and the animation side of it, but we're not going to dive into that. We're going to dive into our
experience.
memories, I guess, our experiences with the golden age of Veggietales, which is going to be between Where's God When I'm Scared?
Ah, that's the name of it.
Yes,
Okay.
that's the very first VeggieTales video.
And I think it ends with the Jonah. Is that right?
Up until the very first movie, which is Jonah, a VeggieTales movie, that actually got released in theaters. That's how big VeggieTales was.
It didn't it? Now that I think you're right.
Let's see.
Huh.
So yeah, VeggieTales. So let's see here. VeggieTales was the movie came out in 2002.
That sounds about right.
And the first video came out, if this computer can even load, 1993. So 1993 to 2000 was the golden age of VeggieTales.
93.
Yes.
Huh.
And that was basically, yeah. Yep, that's about it. So there were a lot of. So let's see here. There were a lot of VeggieTales videos, if you will. Like,
there were quite a few.
Yeah, they were. We're not going to dive into every single one of them, but there's Where's God When I'm Scared? God Must Be Forgive Them, Are You a Neighbor? Rag Shack and Benny, David and the Giant Pickle, The Toy That Saved Christmas.
What? Yeah, I was going to say the notable ones I remember personally are, of course, Rag Shack and Benny might be the main one that I remember. Actually, no. The main one I remember is which one? It was I think Are You My Neighbor was the one I remember the most.
Yeah, the one that they go to the space and stuff and they meet Jimmy and Jerry.
Yep.
Yeah. Here's the thing, right?
Yeah.
Most of the time, they focused on Bible stories, right?
They did.
But here's the genius here. They also focused on showing some biblical lessons through big, huge works of fiction.
Like,
Are You My Neighbor?
Yeah.
Are You My Neighbor took heavy inspiration from Star Trek. And Larry Boy in the Fifth from Outer Space, which is also from this huge thing.
Probably
very heavy inspiration from Batman and all that type of stuff.
That was the case. Maybe a little Spoderman with the plunger ear suction cup.
Yeah, some Spider-Man as well, yeah.
Yeah.
Josh and the Big Wall took inspiration from, biblical, Joshua and going toward that wall and all Battle of Jericho and stuff like that, right? But also, and here's the adult jokes here. They took inspiration from Monty Python. Because I didn't even know this as a kid, but they actually took some jokes from Monty Python and you even know what Monty Python is?
Yes, I'm aware and familiar with Monty. I haven't sat down and watched any of it, but maybe one thing I know, they've got all the skits and the sketches that they're famous.
It's a very old British thing. So they took inspiration from like the giant wall and all that.
Yeah.
There's this scene from Monty Python and oh crap, what is it? Monty Python and there's this Knights from the Round.
Yeah.
Knights of the Round Table. What is that? Let's look it up quickly there, kind folks.
It actually was called like Monty Python's Knights. I thought it was something like that actually.
Hang on. Monty Python and the Holy Grail. There we go.
It was something.
They're on a quest. Monty Python and the Holy Grail. They're on a quest for the Holy Grail and all that, and King Arthur and all that.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's this very famous scene at the beginning where King Arthur is yelling at this, you know, one of his cities and all that, and there's this giant wall, and there's this little thing. It's like, oh no, we're not going to talk about there. That's actually a scene in Josh and the Big Wall. They're like, whatever, screw you. Like Larry the Cucumber playing Josh.
Oh.
Yeah, they actually took some.
They appeal to the whole family in the literal sense, and not just fun for the whole family. The kids only.
Yeah, it's actually. Yeah, my parents actually watched it and actually laughed at a lot of jokes as well. That type of thing.
I know at least my mother did. The one, as you all know.
Son, my ass.
Oh yeah, she probably bought some of those tapes for me. I guess my dad did too. I don't remember that as clearly, but yeah. And another thing to mention about this era is the tapes themselves. I think it's worth pointing out. They were green.
A lot of them were, yes.
If I understand it correctly.
Not all of them were, but
the majority. All the ones
a lot of them were, yes.
I think all of mine, like from when I was actually in my childhood, that we purchased new from the store, we were the green ones. And I always associated, if I saw a green tape, I was like, oh, that's Veggietales. And for years and years, probably up until I was in high school, I had some random Veggietales tape in my bedroom drawer. And I just didn't think much about it. It was just kind of there.
Yeah.
Man.
But yeah, this was the gold.
This
was the golden age. The golden age was great. They even poached some Disney animators in this time. Like a lot of the Disney animators at that time were brought into Big Idea and made Veggietales stuff, which is probably the reason why there's a lot of great writing in this era,
Yes. Makes sense.
Yeah. But yeah, great episodes. My favorite episode from this season, the golden age of Veggietales.
Yeah.
I mean, Jonah is kind of up there. It's highly up there.
That's a long episode.
My favorite one is probably Rack, Shack, and Benny. That was my favorite one.
That one or the one based on David and Goliath.
Dave and Goliath?
Yeah, I forgot what they called it.
Dave and the Giant Pickle.
That's what they called it, okay. Yeah. It's probably a tie for those two.
Yeah. There's a lot of just hilarity in that, both ironically and where you laugh with them.
And at them in some instances.
That's the ironic part.
The animation mess ups. Oops. Whoops.
Yeah. I mean, this is where they actually tried with the animation, right?
They gave it a shot.
They tried the best they could. There's some that were like, okay, you're going a little too far in a few places. Like, Dave only had 3 brothers when he had more, and just had like a couple of sheep in the middle of like a wide aurora of a desert.
I vaguely remember that.
It was very small scale, but they tried to go big scale.
Yeah,
it didn't necessarily work, but you know what? They tried. It worked. It's funny. Yeah. The music was great.
And if you like to talk to tomatoes.
Yeah, the music's great. The songs are great. Like the score's great. The songs are great.
We will touch on that.
Everything in this show is great, including the silly songs,
which we will also touch on later.
I guess and guess we'll touch on them now because that's the golden age of. That's all I got.
I mean, I'll just say, you pretty much summed it up and then some, but really, for our viewers at home, unfortunately, this is kind of where my story ends. As I, after this era, didn't really watch any of the new ones, to my knowledge. At least I'm not aware of it.
Oh, we'll dive into it.
I know, but just good, happy memories. It didn't feel like I was being like preschooled, if that makes sense. Like before I was 4 and watching this stuff, and not old enough for preschool yet. Like it didn't feel like my parents were trying to get me to learn life lessons or something. It was just good, wholesome entertainment, and you learn something on the way. So,
yes, you do. About life. Not about stupid letters and numbers, but about
that
life.
comes a little
Life
later.
lessons.
Or the root locust decades down the road.
Yeah.
Another story though.
I remember my introduction with Veggietales. It actually began with the Christmas special, the toy that saved Christmas.
Oh,
there was which was apparently the 6th episode of it. And it was the 6th episode, and what else? So it was actually on TV, called way back in the day.
Yeah.
This channel called PAX TV.
PAX TV. Never heard of that one.
It was a way back in the day channel there.
I guess so. Like pre slamming skits. Like we were
it was Slam. Slam. It was around when Slam. That's when I
what year?
Watched Veggietales.
Talking like Y2K ish.
Well, this episode came out in 1996, so I'm guessing that it came out in like.
Well, neither of us
first
were
in
there.
TV. First in TV, and like I don't know, 1999, something like that. 2000, something like that.
Okay, so that's probably one of your earliest memories then.
Yeah, we recorded it actually.
Oh,
I
cool.
really liked it. My parents recorded it, and then they got into, oh wait, there are actually videos on this. We should get this for this kid. So they got them. And I didn't watch this like rendition of the special until it came out on DVD. There's like this special DVD that it came out on back when I was 12 or something. Finally saw it again.
And they were
not recorded on the TV.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah. Huh.
I got into it during the golden age, which is good.
And I could not tell you what my first memory is with it, but there are, scattered memories. I think maybe the earliest being the bunny song, maybe, because I don't remember watching all of Rack, Shack, and Benny back then, but I remember the bunny, which makes me think of the boneless,
the boneless, the bunny. Yeah.
But anyway.
But that's basically it. I mean, we're talking the golden age. Wikipedia says something different, but golden age lasted until 2002.
The platinum era. I don't know.
The golden age.
I like that better.
Lasted until 2002, and it consisted of a few risks that they took as well.
Oh yeah?
Like every episode, like some history as well. Every episode of Veggietales, they had a silly song.
Yes.
And they always had Bob and Larry introducing us to either like a episode of it, or a couple episodes.
Yeah.
And then, introducing us to it and then concluding the episode and all that, right?
Right.
But back in the day, they were only going to have one silly song at the beginning of the first one, or at the middle of the first one, and then they were like, all right, let's try something else, do some skits. The parents came in and were like, where's the silly song? We like the silly songs. And they were like, well, let's just have silly songs.
Like, where is his hairbrush?
Yeah, where is his hairbrush? And then they came back and did some more silly songs with Larry. That became a tradition. And they also did a few episodes without Bob and Larry introducing it, like Esther, which I was scared of as a kid. I don't know why.
Esther,
the girl who became queen.
Oh, I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, it was the one with the. It was the one vegetable with the hair.
Yeah.
The one scallion, I think. I think she was a scallion.
I vaguely remember her.
Yeah, there was a few. Larry Boy and the Rumor Weed. Another one I was scared of as a kid.
Not see that one.
That was one that did not have Bob and Larry introducing us in or concluding the episode.
No, rumor has it they didn't. But
yes.
Yeah, I didn't see that one.
And then they had the movie, and basically,
that's all I remember from that.
Then they had the movie, and basically, it concluded the
golden age.
Golden age, because they really overdid it, and it went into bankruptcy, and they had to sell it off to secular people that didn't really take a whole lot of reverence to the quality of the Veggietales. So they started to implement more parody implements with the. So here's the thing, right? They did before we get into this, the Silver Age was.
Yeah, true.
So the lead into the Silver Age, before we officially begin.
Were there toys that they were?
What?
Weren't there? I remember there being a select handful of toys.
Yeah, but before we get into the toys, we'll get into like the reason for the Silver Age.
Oh.
So the reason for the Silver Age was because the movie flopped. It was a really big production, and the movie flopped at the box office. So Phil had to sell off Big Idea to this other company or something, and there was a lot of infighting with the seculars and the Christians who wanted Big Idea and Veggietales to be more Christian. The seculars wanted to be more secular.
Yeah.
So they began to, had to do a lot of infighting.
Yeah.
So because of that, he sold it off to a secular company where they did more parodies on other things, which they did with like Larry Boy being Batman and all that.
Oh, that was the Silver Age, huh? Okay.
No, that wasn't the Silver Age. That was an example, right? Larry Boy
I'm with you.
Was a parody on Batman.
Right.
But they also started to do this thing where they disguised the Bible story, right?
Oh.
The Bible story, like for instance, Little Joe.
Yeah.
Little Joe is a parody on Joseph.
I was gonna say, would that be?
But it's done in a Western side of it.
Oh God, why?
It's It's still good. I still think it's quality, but
it's so cheesy.
Yeah, they started to do more of those things. That's like Joseph, the Bible story, and the themes of the Bible story, but done in a Western setting. They started to do those things, trying to distance itself from the actual Bible story, which isn't that decent. But we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, it can go either way. I don't know how.
Let's talk about the toys, son.
Yes.
What toys do you remember having as a kid? Because I got a lot.
Well, this is gonna be short for me. I very, very specifically remember Laura being in like a plastic keychain form, like a keychain figure with like a plastic.
I remember that.
Yeah.
My parents wouldn't allow me to have that, but I remember that.
Choking hazard. So yeah, there you
Mm-hmm.
go. But we had that for some reason. I don't know where we got it from, but I just remember it a little later being in existence. And aside from that, I would like to say there was like a Larry Boy action figure with a car or something.
Oh, there was.
Okay, I thought I remember that being it. We're going way back here. KB Toys, if you know, you know. Toy store at the mall. May they rip. They ripped a while back, but they
Yeah.
are us, so that's a big rip. But yeah, I remember that, and that's kind of it. What did you have? That's about all I got.
So it was actually a couple
Yeah.
of Larry Boy action figure things.
Yeah.
I had them both.
Okay. Cool.
One of them was actually pretty decent. It's where Larry Boy had like this hole in his self, and you had to stick it into the like thing or whatever, and you can actually detach the wheels and make it, an airplane, right? And then there was a cheaper version where Larry Boy, you could still stick it in there, but
Yeah.
the wheels didn't detach, and you can't make it an airplane, which is kind of stupid, and I hated that.
It's an airplane one, huh?
There was a bunch of different toys like that. There were stuffed animals. We had the stuffed vegetables and all that type of thing, right?
Makes sense. I didn't have any of that, but
Had
that,
the Larry Boy stuffy thing.
yeah,
Larry and Bob stuffy thing.
yeah. Plush. Is that what you're trying to
The
say?
plushes, yeah. I mean, stuffy thing, plushes, stuffed animals, whatever.
That's good.
But yeah, we had a lot of different things.
Yes.
Books. We had the books. I remember there was the vegetational book that I
Veg
wore out.
book.
What?
A vegetation book.
Yeah, it's
That's
basically
that is very epic.
it's basically the novelization of a couple of their episodes.
Okay. Makes sense.
And yeah, that's basically
If you want to count,
some of the toys, not all of them. I mean, there was a lot.
yeah.
That was a marketing frenzy. That's why it was so valuable,
Oh.
because of the marketing and the toys sells.
Oh, they use that to
That's why everyone wanted Veggietales. It's
in a
because it.
good way. Like they didn't overdo it, aka Batman and Robin of the '90s. They didn't go that far with it, but
Uh,
they approached it, but I don't think they did that far with it. But
in the golden age,
well,
but then there's the silver age where they focused a lot on toys and toy sales.
oh, so then they did go down the
Well, not by choice, but yeah, it was one of the reasons. So,
tell us more. So
yeah.
nothing at this point forward.
Yeah, so basically, the silver age, in my opinion, started with, if I can find it,
Something with tomatoes.
where did the Ballad of officially it began with the Ballad of Little Joe, because that's when the Jonah a Veggietales movie came out on VHS or DVD and all that. Was
remember that in
pre Ballad of Little Joe. Was biblical story of Joseph and all that type of thing with the West.
Pre or post ballad. That's how we.
Pre ballad was when Jonah came out on DVD and VHS.
Yep.
So we got a few warning signs of what was about to come.
Oops.
Like, for instance, The Wonderful World of Autotainment, which is just a bunch of compilations of songs.
That one was. I'll give that one a little credit. That one is kind of a guilty pleasure, but yeah.
I mean, it's not bad. It's just not up to their normal quality. There was The Star of Christmas, Lyle the Kindly Viking, Esther the Girl Who Became Queen, King George and the Ducky. Or actually, hold on. That was... No, Star of Christmas was right after Jonah got into theaters. So there's that.
Oh.
So officially, and then there was an Easter Carol. And actually, there's based in the same universe as the Star of Christmas. There was a lot of experimentation here.
It sounds like it. The fact that there's a VCU in itself is just kind of baffling.
They made a lot of there was a lot of VCUs. But yeah, so
a big fat at PHOOPH foof. Tell you what. Tell us what. Tell us what.
Yeah, so it's basically from the Ballad of Little Joe, I would say, to the Pirates Don't Do Anything VeggieTales movie. Once again, capping that out.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Is it bad? Not necessarily.
Yeah.
There's only from what I remember, 2 Bible stories that are actually supposed to be taking place within the Bible.
Oh, yeah.
Like with a lot of modern stuff in it.
Oh.
Yeah.
I get exactly what you're getting.
Gideon Tuba Warrior and Abe and the Amazing Promise. Those were the only 2 Bible stories that were actually supposed to take place within the Bible. They had a lot of modern stuff in it. Like Gideon has like a trumpet and or a tuba and is trying to do all this type of stuff with the tuba and all that, being a marching band. Abe, The Amazing Promise, has like this crew of videographers and all that trying to take down his story.
Oops.
So yeah, it's kind of
for sure.
It's kind of all over the place. I still like it though. I still think it's pretty decent, but
I mean, it's better than a lot of alternatives.
Yeah, but it was going toward the more secular type of thing and not necessarily the Bible story-esque stuff. The writing started to become a little bit more kiddish and
more kid-friendly, huh?
A little bit more kiddish, a lot less family-ish. Let's put it that way.
Oh.
But it was still good, though. I still enjoy a lot of their episodes. A Snoodle's Tale was a little weird.
Yeah.
Because that was...
It was...
They weren't vegetables in this Snoodle's Tale. It was like...
Oh.
It was like... sort of like a Dr. Seuss thing.
Seuss.
It was a bunch of gourds with like gloves that were actually hands, so they animated the hands and all that.
I do remember that, I think.
And this was actually the first, the Snoodle's Tale was actually the first episode not to be animated by Big Idea, and instead animated by Classic Media, which also owned Rocky and Bullwinkle, Mr. Peabody and Sherman, and all that type of stuff. I'm not going to dive into the history. I'm just trying not to, but
oh, I know.
Sumo of the Opera, that was about Sumo of the Opera was like a Rocky parody. Duke and the Great Pie War was about another story from the Bible, but it was Ruth, I think. Miriam and no. It was about Ruth and Naomi and all that type of stuff. Except they were in, get ready for this, they were knights and all that type of stuff. Knights and princesses and all that stuff, which is very bizarre.
I kind of remember this now that you're telling me. I remember like the marketing for it.
Yeah. I mean, there was there
was what, Chief?
It was very bizarre. Let's put it that way. They leaned a lot into the parody. Like, what's popular now? Let's capitalize on this.
Oh, they're they're really trying, if you will, to get.
They had to really push on the biblical stuff. Even the biblical parodies, they really pushed on it.
Yeah.
I mean, half of them are good, half of them are bad, but instead of it being like a consistent quality, it was kind of like half of them are good and half of them are like, what are you talking about, you know? I would say my favorite episode in this arrangement of stuff would probably be from 2008 onward, I would say.
What, you mean 02 and onward?
02 to 08.
Okay, I was going to say, kind of bullshit.
I would say that is either Larry Boy and the Bad Apple, which turned out to be sort of like a...
Is it like a transitional thing?
No. I mean, this is my favorite episode of the Silver Age.
Okay, so it was... Right, yeah. Post-Ballad.
Or Abe and the Amazing Promise. That's actually a pretty nice show there. But, you know, there's that, I guess.
For me, I think the only one that I genuinely remember, and no, I don't remember it. I saw the scene that you're referring to on the web just out of curiosity one time. And that is whatever episode has the future where they have the talk show. Where it's like, future is now. And
The Wonderful World of Entertainment.
Oh, that's the name of the episode, huh? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
They got robots and stuff.
Yes, that would be it. It's probably got, to me, the funniest thing that Larry has ever said, which is randomly generated. Randomly generated. I don't know why, but that's...
You like that?
It's the way he's like, randomly generated. I just lost it when he said randomly generated. It's like, that's not funny at all.
What better way to host the unexpected? I've seen the future, Bob, and the future is autotainment. The future is ours.
Future is now.
Anyway.
This is...
Yeah, it was...
Yeah.
But then it kind of catapulted itself into garbage when they released
Yeah.
their last movie that they made for some reason. The
Yeah.
Pirates Who Don't Do Anything, a Veggietales movie, which is basically a ripoff of Pirates of the Caribbean.
I was wondering about that. I wondered if it was tied in. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Did I see? Okay.
The only reason why they made a Pirates Who Don't Do Anything movie was because of the Pirates of the Caribbean movies that were appearing at that point.
Huh.
But anyway, though, what's next on the agenda again, son?
Yes, so
Yeah.
pulling out of that silver age of some good, some randomness, and some toilet dumpery. We got music CDs and soundtracks. This
yes.
is the merchandise I remember more. If you want to really look at everything outside of the, what aired on TV, was released theatrically and home video, this is the thing that I remember the most for sure.
Oh yes.
And
they all sucked.
See, that's what's interesting is we were talking about this yesterday, and so I think I had like this soundtrack of various songs from the shows. It was like a 2-disc compilation. One disc was blue, one was like a what's the color? Magenta color, like a reddish pink magenta colored disc. Then I had the Larry Boy soundtrack, which just had Larry Boy on the disc. So I thought that was pretty sick. It was a really cool cover for what it was. They actually did a good job. Looked pretty good. But no, this was like I remember one track was like actually track one on the first disc was "If you like to talk to tomatoes" and so on and so forth. Veggietales. I'm not going to sing it all, but yeah. The theme song, folks. If you know it, you know it. And then there was like this slightly altered version of the Bunny song where the bass, like the bass, was bumping like.
Yeah, I mean,
but we don't see that version anymore. Oh no, it's a new version of it.
Yeah, because apparently parents were complaining about like, oh hey, this song in its original form says a lot of nasty stuff. Can you replace it? And they did. So there you go.
I like that they actually kind of acknowledged it with that though, where they're like, "Oh no, this is a new version. It's better." Because Bob comes out, was like, "Well, we're not supposed to sing that song," or something like that.
Yeah.
So now, with that being said, it sounds like almost I got the Golden Age soundtracks. Maybe you got the Silver Age.
I got whatever the heck they put out.
I don't even know. I've never heard of this, but now I want to hear it. It sounds so bad.
So along with these videos, they made song compilations that were basically Kids Bop but Veggietales.
That's what it sounds like.
It's like Bob and Larry sing the 70s, and there's a bunch of 70s.
I gotta hear that.
There's like a bunch of 70s songs and all that type of thing. There's this one CD where Bob and Larry and the Veggietales gang are in a like VW bus or something.
Oh no.
And they're singing like road trip songs and all that type of stuff.
Wasn't that a video though? I know what you're talking about.
No. I mean that was a silly song.
Was that the one where the guy's like, the Mr. whatever Mr. Lunt was like, no, I get car sick when I sit in the back. Is that CD?
No, it's not.
Okay. Then that's not what I thought it was, but I remember that. Specifically, I remember that. No, I get car sick when I sit in the back. I just remember him saying that.
I get car sick if I sit in the back.
Also, I grew up in New Jersey.
Oh.
He did. He did.
'Cause you're his cheeseburger.
Oh, yeah. Just cheeseburger!
Yeah, so... But yeah, these CDs
weren't so good, huh?
Oh, they were atrocious. Bill Vischer, I can hear in the back, he was like, what the heck am I spewing out here? This is absolute trash.
I kind of tracked this down.
Yeah, anyway, though. Now we're on to the Dark Age. Oh, gosh. Here we go.
Yes. All right, Sam. This one's all you. I will just be commenting and reacting from this point forward because I know. Take it away.
Here's my understanding of it.
Yeah.
So there was this transitional video, I would say, that hit the Silver Age to the Dark Age. That is St. Nicholas, a story of joyful giving. And it's about the story of Santa, basically, St. Nick, in Veggietales form.
Okay. Fair enough.
But
that's not exactly biblical, but it is.
It's Catholic.
Oh, okay.
It's Catholic / Eastern Orthodox specifically.
Yeah, the saint worship.
But here's the thing, though.
Yeah.
They after this video, they started doing all these weird things where they started bringing on these contemporary Christian artists to sing a song.
Oh no!
In the credits.
Oh.
Every single time, and it sucks. They kept on changing the silly song to being anything else other than Larry.
Oh, and I can see the Yamaha acoustic guitars from here.
No, not with the contemporary Christian people. They're like for St. Nicholas, it's helpful humanitarian songs with Mr. Lunt.
Helpful humanitarian songs with Mr. Lunt.
Instead of songs with Larry. In
New Jersey? I don't know. I don't want to be back.
They completely changed everything. They changed how the stories were structured. They changed after this episode. They completely changed how each episode was released and all that type of crap. It was stupid. I hate it. A lot of the animation that they released wasn't even finished. And I was speechless. I couldn't believe that this even happened.
Bring back the charm from the early episodes, but then
the animation wasn't even rendered. I was like, what the hell?
They went below the golden age, which had
they went below them actually trying.
And even if it was rendered, they just had some little mistakes that they forgot to notice, where like something had a different texture, or it was like
they were trying back in the day. They tried. They didn't know how to do it yet because the technology was not there yet.
They did pretty good for 93. That's impressive to me.
Yeah, but here in these new Veggietales videos, they were all like, let's just not even render. Let's for this one scene, let's not even render the scene. And I was like, what the hell is this garbage?
Not be a technical limitation anymore.
Yeah, and this is also the era that Phil like
walked away
was like
from it,
and he left as a writer for this show, and it kind of shows.
Yeah. Yep.
Let me read to you a few of the episodes here. Pistachio, the little boy that wouldn't, and it's a parody on Pinocchio. Sweet Beauty, a girl after God's own heart, which is a parody on the Disney princess line.
So they took a Brothers Grimm fairy tale, and then, knowing there was a Disney animated film that was popular from decades ago, still relevant, and then they took that because people knew of it and it was familiar, and then made that a Christian story.
Yep.
That I don't like it.
That's garbage. I'm telling you.
It's not just a religious thing. That just sounds like it's the easy way out. It's like
it is. That's what they do. That's what these secular idiot corporate people tended to do with the Veggietales thing. Now they just like, it's a meaningful life. You know what that's about?
I bet it's a wonderful life.
Yeah. With Larry.
Angel Christianity.
I couldn't even believe that they started to do these things, because they did some really dark adaptations. It's a Wonderful Life is actually pretty dark.
Yeah, it has some very powerful,
like if he didn't exist, like if he died.
Like you kind of feel bad for the guy in some parts. It's not like extremely dark where it's like all about like death.
Yeah, and
it's not like going that far. By the way,
also what?
Since I said the S word and not shit or shwee, if you're feeling suicidal thoughts, call the hotline. Get some help.
Yes, quite, yes.
So
anyway,
but yeah, continue.
They also made The Penniless Princess, which is a story about this little girl whose father dies in a war, and after being rich is now broke
and
poor, and having to live underneath a very strict woman. And it's just, why would they do that?
Okay, now it sounds like they're like, we need to expose what some of these hardcore religious families are doing to their kids. But that, whether you agree with that statement or not, point being, why would that's even
exactly?
Yeah. Oh my.
So
I don't know anymore.
So here's the thing. There's only one. There's only one. Count them. One biblical story in this entire dark age.
At least it's better than zero, but still.
I mean,
did it have all the
there's only one. I mean, there's only one biblical story that's not even a parody. It's just one story. No parodies, no biblical parodies, no nothing. Except for one.
Yeah.
That's the last one that was ever made for straight to video, called Noah's Ark, with the new animation where Bob and Larry have pupils now.
Oh,
they're saturated and they're really weird looking.
Are they high on meth or something, or cocaine or some
They're
stimulant?
not high on meth. They look like they are, but they're not.
Exactly. That's the idea. Is like, are they supposed to be like meth addicts? Larry, I told you not to shoot up the meth. Wow, I gotta clean the whole house.
Here's the thing, too. They also brought
Bruh.
in a lot of more secular animation stars like Wayne Brady. You know who Wayne Brady is?
Oh, and let me ask, just for clarity and for anyone else watching that's not on the same page, define secular. Because I was thinking you meant it in a different sense.
So secular meaning that you don't believe in the Lord God above, if you will, or in Jesus.
Why would they sell Veggietales to people who are almost agnostic, I guess?
Because, okay, so the main reason was because they needed money. And in order to keep the company afloat, they needed to, Phil needed to sell the company in order to have people keep their jobs.
Okay.
In order to keep,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
VeggieTales train keep on going,
Right. I see what you're getting at. Oh,
But yeah, it's trash. They also had,
I'd say so.
you know who Wayne Brady is, son?
No, I've never even heard of Wayne Brady.
He's a famous comedian from Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Okay.
And he was in VeggieTales.
Hmm.
And they really pushed him.
I'm
They
sure
really pushed him in the marketing and all that. And everyone was like, "Why?"
who's next? Can we get a
Rob Paulson.
all right. That I approve just because he's Rob
I mean,
Paul.
he's a good guy, but I mean, what has he got? He's a good guy. I watched his VeggieTales episode, Beauty and the Beat. Yeah,
Love to
Beauty
see
and the Beat.
Rob Paulson in Veggietales. Ah, well, you guys just cannot mess with
Terry Crews.
you know. But yeah, I
You know
don't.
who Terry Crews is?
Nope, only Rob so far.
Terry Crews is from Brooklyn Nine-Nine. He's a big, strong African American guy and all that. I don't know. He was in Celery Night Fever. Telling you this is trash.
Hey, you know what is funny about that is the fact that you were talking about the Bob and Larry sing the 70s or whatever. I'm just sitting here thinking, Bob and Larry, staying alive. Larry, I'm staying alive. Just like it just doesn't make
I
sense.
think they probably sung it in Celery Night Fever, honestly.
Like,
But here we go. I'm gonna finish this out because I'm sick and tired of
oh,
saying this.
end it, please.
So my favorite episode of this series, my favorite episode of this run of VeggieTales, which is absolutely atrocious.
Yes, I'd say.
Not the League of Incredible Vegetables, which was the
Oh,
vegetable version of the Avengers.
okay, well, I mean, there you go.
My favorite one
Needless
is
to
probably Veggies in Space, the Fennel Frontier. Now, on the surface, it's stupid, but
better
I
than
gotta admit, when I was watching it, I did not like it.
yeah. I'm not gonna lie.
It's even more
Yeah.
swings more into the Star Trek
Oh
lore and
yeah.
all that, but
Huh.
it was actually funny. I actually laughed a couple times. It's actually not that bad.
Hmm.
Is it up to par with the Silver Era or even the Golden Age? No.
It's not, but it's better than Celery Night Fever, which I
Oh,
may have to that up for myself just to witness it. I've got to see that one. That because I like guitar playing and I know how to play that song. That gotta witness it.
Or Noah's Ark. Why can't I say that? Noah's Ark. Which brings me to this.
Yeah.
Time to talk about all the other big idea things that was created.
Which I know nothing about.
Yeah, just rapid fire going through them all. 3, 2, 1 Penguins. That one?
What's that?
What?
What the hell is that?
That's Veggietales, but with penguins and people.
Is it still Christian?
Yes. So there was a season 1, officially, a season 1 that was direct to video, and there was a season 2 that premiered on TV. And the one that premiered on TV was actually not that bad. I liked it. It was kind of like was more serialized and less episodic.
Okay.
Then there was Larry Boy, the animated series, which was...
They picked something good to try.
It was 6 episodes. It was 6 episodes of, like, basically Larry Boy in Flash.
Oh. Okay. Back when that existed.
Yeah. It was...
For much longer.
It was cute. It was fine. It was whatever. Then there was Veggietales in the House, which was the Netflix series where Larry had pupils, and it was just atrocious and bad and terrible.
Wait. Did they have, you mean pupils or irises?
Both.
Okay, because I remember they always had pupils, but...
They always had the black things, but they had irises. Yeah. They had the color in their eyes now.
Okay, I got you. Yeah, so that... Oh! Not hallelujah. Like,
and then there was Veggietales in the House. You know what that's about?
I don't even know if I want to know, man, but what? What's it about, bro?
It's about all the Veggietales characters living in the house that they had their show in. You know how they're always on the countertop?
Oh, no.
Now they're living in the house. And it's terrible.
Anymore.
And lastly, there's Veggietales in the City, which...
that's a little bit better. At least they're exploring a world. You know.
Yeah.
The fucking house where that yellow colored tile kitchen was.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. When you get done with this little bit, we'll end it with another merchandising thing that this reminds me of. So
I'm done. What's your
No pun intended. Thank the Lord. I'm glad that's done.
Done. Well, there's one last little tidbit we'll touch upon here, and that's the reboot, but that'll be short and sweet. But anyway, what were you gonna say there?
There was actually, I remembered bits and pieces of it, but then it totally clicked once you told me about the kitchen they were in. I had a board game called Don't Drop the Soap, much like the prison joke. Funny enough.
No. Don't drop the soap. Don't drop the soap.
I'm sure that was what it was called, and there was something about where you picked one of the characters and you had to go across the board, which was just like the length of the box. It wasn't a big board, but you didn't want to fall into the sink or something. That's all I remember about it. And it had like little slits in it where you would move your character, but if you fell in the hole, like your character would actually fall inside the box lid. Don't drop the soap, ladies and gentlemen. I'm pretty sure, that's the name of it.
Dun, 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 dun. And after that, we're back on the Veggietales with the end. The end.
We're always on Tales, but yeah.
The end. The reboot.
The reboot. Irises, yes or no?
So the irises within the reboot have left. In short, Veggietales was bought by DreamWorks, and Phil, in his awesomeness, found a loophole in the thing there, like the contract and all that, where TBN actually holds the television rights. TBN, the Trinity Broadcast Network and all that.
Yeah.
Which is Christian. So
right.
They commissioned Phil to make new episodes of Veggietales. And he did.
Okay.
He wrote them. He animated them. They're back to their normal animation style.
Yeah.
Not crap.
It didn't suck anymore.
No. There was a slight difference there. It's called the Veggietales Show, and it's basically them just putting on a play, basically.
Okay.
Instead of, stories and all that type of thing. There's a lot more biblical aspects to the show and all that. It's great.
Nice. There is a good thing.
There's at least 15 episodes. 15
that were needed to recover from, oh my god, I just found Bob and Larry sing the 80s. But yeah. Anyway.
But apparently they were going to make, last but not least, apparently DreamWorks was going to make a podcast with the Veggies, and Phil and Mike wanted to be named as the co-creators and all that because they are. And they were like, if our names are not called co-creators, then we're not going to voice the characters. And DreamWorks was like, okay, bye. So they fired them, basically.
Oh.
And now we have a crappy podcast that is dead, and Veggietales officially is no more. So they're not making it anymore, which is unfortunate.
In the chat.
But it was a great run. I can't believe that something that's good and Christian existed, especially for kids, because
if you think about it, yeah.
Christian media for kids is very hard to come by, especially stuff that's good. And just the fact that we have Veggietales to begin with is a miracle in and of itself. So it was a great run. Sorry that it had to go. But if DreamWorks isn't going to help it thrive, then I guess it's dead. It's unfortunate, but there will be others.
Yeah.
And hopefully Veggietales will come back later on like it did before, but not likely. And son, what's your overall experience on Veggietales? What did you think of it?
For my personal experience with it, it was good. I definitely missed out on the not so good side of it. With that being said, another little
which is good.
Yes. And another thing that I actually forgot about. I totally forgot about this until now. They had some video games. I forgot all about that. There was one at
Yes, they
the
did.
school that Slam and I attended private school. We'll just refer to it as the Academy. Phineas and Ferb reference. We won't expose their full name. They actually, when I was like first, maybe I remember the computer lab computers. Do you recall where the middle school used to be?
Mm-hmm.
Boy, there's that computer lab in there.
Mm-hmm.
Not that you ever got to use it, but you're familiar with it. Had the door that went outside to the carpool area. So, we played this Veggietales: The Mystery of Veggie Island game. I remember this now. When we went to computer class or tech class, I think it was called computer class or something.
Mm-hmm.
Technology class, something like that. But yeah, like that was the thing. I forgot all about that. And lastly, I'll end it with this. The name of the board game was Don't Sink in the Sink. That's a lot more kid friendly.
There we go. Yeah, and that's the VeggieTales game. I was gonna say, don't drop the soap.
Oh, you had it too?
Yes.
Okay, so you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, there's no VeggieTales game that's called Don't Drop the Soap. Son, my ass.
I swore that's what it was.
Don't drop the soap.
Soapy water on the artwork. That's what I was thinking of.
Don't drop the soap.
Drop the soap.
A VeggieTales game.
Oh no, I'm glad that exists. And there's a Larry Boy game on the PS2.
Yeah.
Minnesota also. Huh.
Anyway, though, guys.
Up on. Yeah.
That's it for VeggieTales.
Some good,
Our
some
experiences, our losses. What you guys think of it? Did it rock? Did it suck?
Hopefully you didn't go through the unfortunate part of it. We grew up fortunately when it was good. So
comment anything you want. Let us know. Subscribe. Ring that bell. More content coming your way. And hey,
hello,
guys.
God bless and have a wonderful day. Stop.